the channel. First, I wanted to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I never thought I would get to that point. It's minor in comparison to many other people, great people on YouTube. But again, I wanted to thank you so much for helping me achieve that. So yeah, we're gonna go into a very cold, you can kind of tell, for me anyways, update on the swaps. The CJ really doesn't get used very often, which is ironic. I do love this thing to death, but just due to life and cold, me driving back and forth to school, it's not viable. I did take it for some snow wheeling on the road the other day. And she is very, very squirrely, even downshifting to slow down. She wants to walk sideways, so not a good candidate for driving on snow or ice-packed roads. I also took the Cherokee. I actually went out with my mom and my dad, let them both drive it, which was really, really cool. They both seemed to enjoy it. Things are still progressing with the compound setup. I have the manifold there. I have the GTC 1549 with the electric actuator. I was trying to get my plasma cutter to work. Looks like the electrodes are mucked up. So I do have one of these cut. I was trying to do it on my hand, but I'd rather just fix that thing. So, so yeah, the GTC is of course gonna go down here. I'm gonna need to kind of move around these AC lines. Come to find out that Aeroquip makes unbelievably flexible ones when compared to these rubber ones. So I'll make new lines, probably run them around here if I can, just kind of out of the way. So the GTC is gonna be hanging down, and then I still haven't decided on the turbo. I've been talking with Nelson at Tektronix, Houston Alexander, and Nick Sweeney, on a couple other people, Ethan and Micah. I'm more than likely gonna follow Micah's build, if you know who these people are. If you don't, join the TDI swaps forum. Anyway, so the GTC is going to go down. The bigger turbo is going to come up somewhere in this general vicinity is the hope. I mean, maybe even up forward if we have to. But I prefer to have it basically right above and then just, again, move the AC lines. Until I have that kind of set up, well, excuse me. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just run the GTC 1549 with the electronic actuator on this and kind of see how it responds in comparison to the GTD 1756 that I currently have. For those who are unfamiliar with the builds, are both basically the exact same thing. GTD 1756, jam injection, 280 injectors, same exact setup here. Although I think these are full flow injectors and those are regular flow injectors. So, excuse me. Additionally, AX15, center force, Dana 300, NP231. Gears already done in this thing. Gears have not been done because I do still have this rear forelink to install. I don't want to do that until after I get the turbo setup done because the exhaust is going to have to be rerouted. So I'm not going to do that twice. I'm not going to do gears on this thing until I get that on because that's going to be 4 inches in the back. This is 3 inches in the front, and I want to kind of see how it plays out. If it's, the reverse of the squatted truck nowadays, and of course I want to lift the front, and then we need to decide if we need bigger tires. I think it looks perfectly fine how it is now, but if it's an additional inch, I want to see and kind of go from there. But yeah, let's go over the specs of everything. So this is a Iron Rock off-road 3-link, 3-inch in the back. It has an Adams drive shaft and Tom Woods. NP231, of course, has a slip yoke eliminator. I'm running a GENRIGHT fuel tank, which is, I believe, 30.5 gallons, 35 gallons, something like that. It does have custom front and rear bumpers. Excuse me. This is Aries. I think this is dirt bound up front. I do run the Odyssey AGM batteries on both of them that are unbelievably expensive, but you see that they're both sitting on tenders when they're not in use. This is a hybrid, so it's a PD150, PD130 short block with an ALH head. This has exhaust ports. The exhaust ports have been wallowed out by me. It's running my own tune. Thank you to Techmictronics and to Dirty Throttle out of the UK for the help and kind of pointing me in the right direction to help me learn. But yeah, so that's basically it. Again, right, so this is my first swap. This is my CJ7, 1984, 1994. I didn't plan it that way. I wanted to get an 82 because that was the year of my birth, but when I bought this back in Texas, when I stopped riding motorcycles, this was the only decent one that was available. Ironically, I paid $5,500 for this, and I also paid $5,500 for that, which nowadays to find an all-original CJ is not going to be easy. But in any case, just like with this beast over here, this is also TDI swapped. This was my first one. This is a full ALH engine. Jam injectors, both of these do run 11mm pumps, which are not necessary until you hit about 300 horsepower. This is a brand new, they're technically both brand new, but a brand new GTD 1756, that same Odyssey battery I was telling you about. It runs a BDS YJ conversion, so it has larger springs up front. I think it is a 4-inch or 4.5-inch suspension lift. It also runs a 1-inch body lift. Both of my adapter plates are from Matt Whitbread, up in the very, very, very cold north currently. It also runs a Whitbread remote oil filter adapter with a Hamburger Performance. I don't know why I bought this thing. It's super cool because you can adjust it with AND lines that I'm super happy are actually holding. And then a remote Donaldson mount fuel filter. Again, both of these do run Holley black fuel pumps. I actually 3D printed some rubber isolators to help with the vibration noise. I did try to run this thing with the stock in-tank fuel pump from the 94. Technically it was a 96, but same thing. And I could pull the fuel down to 0 easily under hard acceleration. Now currently I can pull it down to maybe 3 or 4 from 13. Same thing with this one over here. Ironically, this thing is about half a second faster than this one. That could be from the gearing, it could be from the seating position. Instead of pushing straight down with the CJ, you're kind of pushing forward with the XJ. Additionally, you know, tires are significantly different and weighs different as well too. But anyway, so BDS YJ conversion, it actually runs the stock drive shafts. There were different variations, different transmissions back in the day for the CJ, so all I had to do was find a drive shaft that actually fit my measurements. So it's running stock drive shafts. Oh, I forgot, with this thing I also run a disc conversion, so that significantly changes the stopping power on that thing. Custom front and rear bumpers, just like the XJ. Don't remember who I got them from, it's been many, many years. But yeah, this one gets, I think, a little bit better fuel efficiency than this one. But I do beat the poop out of this thing. Oh, I keep looking at new things. Look, JCR roof rack. So now the plans for the CJ. Again, this is a GTD 1756. I do have the original whole set in that brown box right there, HE200, with the 12mm mechanical injection pump instead of the 11mm electronic injection pump. But I do have a second GTC 1549 coming, hence the reason why I'm trying to cut out the second exhaust flange. I'm going to leave that one, at least for the time being, vacuum operated and kind of see a comparison, right? You know, so this is going to be electronically actuated. This is going to be vacuum actuated. All the cool kids seem to be going in this direction, but I'm kind of wondering, is it necessary? Again, we're not building race cars or anything like that, so is the added difficulty, frustration, expense, is it worth it? Or can you just run, you know, vacuum and be just as content? Again, these aren't super fast engines or anything like that. They're just baby diesels. So yeah, so I'll attempt to do that. A GTC 1549. I do believe they'll run out of steam a lot sooner than the 1756s, which is, I mean, for this is not that big of a deal. For that, it's more important. They both are set up to tow, although honestly I haven't tried it. I've even thought about hooking that to that and pulling it down the street with the drone in the air, but I haven't had the time, and it's 30 something in the daytime now, so yeah, I'm not going to do that anytime soon. But yeah, so we'll have a GTC 1549 280 injectors. According to Techmetronics, those turbos can run 30 to 32 psi as long as you look at the exhaust manifold pressure. So my plan is to do that just to kind of see. I think it's pushing the little turbo a lot, but he said he was running it in one of his vehicles for a long period of time without issues. So maybe what, 28, 30 psi and only get into it if I need to. But according to Kyle Meister, these things, Kyle and Nick, technically, because Nick helped to build a couple cars with these GTC 1549s and compounds. And he said that they both said they pick up like super quick. And this thing picks up super quick, this GTD 1756. So I can only imagine the monster little baby turbo is. But yeah, so thank you for listening to my ramblings. This is just a basic, I guess 1,000 subscriber overview of what's going on in my TDI swap world.